and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, having in her hand a golden cup full of, here it is again, full of what? Abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. Is she decked with jewelry? She most certainly is. Does she want to impress her lovers with her riches and her looks? Absolutely. She's a global system. And everybody's impressed because of all of the riches and all of the wonderful gold and the silver that she has. And by the way, you notice that the colors that she majors in are purple and scarlet. Never blue. Because as we're going to notice in our next lecture, blue represents the law of God. And this system is contrary to God's holy law. Now, I want you to notice also that this woman is an assassin. You know, this woman has killed God's people. Did we find that of Israel in the Old Testament? We most certainly did. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 6. I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. Now I want to show you something which is very important for what we're going to study in the future. This harlot is only one part of Babylon. She's the main protagonist of Babylon. But Babylon in Revelation is composed of three parts. Are you understanding what I'm saying? She is, for example, like Jezebel. You know, Jezebel was the key figure. She manipulated everything, and her false prophets did what she said, and the king, King Ahab, did what she said. But she was the main power behind the king and behind the false prophets. It's kind of like John the Baptist. Do you know John the Baptist also had three enemies? It looks like the devil works in groups of three. Because with John the Baptist, was there a king that was involved? Yes. Was there a mother that was involved? Yes. Was there a daughter who was involved? Yes. You see, this story in Revelation is actually prefigured by the story of Elijah, and it's prefigured by the story of the death of John the Baptist. In other words, if you know how the different actors interplayed in the story of Elijah and in the story of John the Baptist, the three enemies of Elijah and John the Baptist, you're going to know how everything is going to pan out at the end of time. We don't have time to get into Elijah and John the Baptist. We'd have to have one lecture for each in order to understand how the relationship between these three enemies in the days of Elijah and these three enemies in the days of John the Baptist prefigure perfectly what's going to happen at the end of time. But I want you to notice that Babylon has three parts. Revelation 16 and verse 19. It says there in Revelation 16 verse 19, now the great city was divided into what? Into three parts. What is the great city? Babylon, right? We've already identified the great city as Babylon. The great city was divided into three parts. So how many parts does Babylon have? 3. And in case you're wondering whether the expression the great city is referring to Babylon, let's continue reading. And the cities of the nations fell, and great what? Babylon